guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Diana Romanovska and I am a certified family law specialist practicing family law in San Francisco. Today I would like to talk about summary dissolution. And just as a disclaimer, I don't want you to confuse summary dissolution, which means that it could mean it's faster than a regular divorce. It could mean that, however, that California has 6 months and 1 day cooling off period that applies to everything, to divorce and summary dissolution. Therefore, let's get started with the requirements of summary dissolution. Summary dissolution has to comply with Family Code Section 2400A. And there are actually 7 requirements. First requirement is that there are no children of this marriage, and to the best knowledge of both parties, the party is not pregnant. Second, the marriage is under 5 years. And as a reminder, the marriage is defined from the date of marriage until the date of separation. Not to the date when someone is filing for divorce, but actually when one party decided that this marriage is over. It's not necessarily that one party is moving out of the house. I have talked about this topic in another video. The third requirement, that the parties have no interest in real estate, which means they don't own real estate, and if there is lease involved, that's one exception. However, the exception of the exception is that the lease is not supposed to allow to buy out the property. So again, I will repeat this point because it sounds like there are so many exceptions of the exception. So neither party is allowed to have interest in real estate property, exception they lease an apartment. And then even if it's leased, then and they have a buyout option, then they have real estate interest, and that means they cannot file for summary dissolution. The fourth requirement is that either party debt or their joint debt, community property debt, is not to be in excess of more than $6,000. And the separate property debt is a separate issue, but we're talking about community property debt, meaning any debt incurred from the date of marriage until the date of separation. And that debt does include car debt, any automobile debt included into the $6,000. Then the fifth requirement is the asset, and here the car is actually not included, are not to be in excess of more than $41,000. If the separate property is more than $41,000 and here it includes the car, then no summary dissolution. And the final 2 requirements are both parties executed an agreement dividing their assets and debt, and both parties are not seeking spousal support. This is the summary of 7 requirements for summary dissolution, which could be easier in terms of paperwork, but not necessarily faster than divorce. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you soon. Bye!